Hey, what's up, YouTube? I'm Mark Timberlake, and I'm back with a brand new video. If you didn't look at my poll yet, and you can't tell by the title of this video, then I'm going to tell you what it's about. College football. Back talking about Michigan and Ohio State, both in the college football playoffs. First time ever, two Big Ten teams have made the college football playoffs, so congrats to the Big Ten. Talk about Michigan and Ohio State in a second, but first, let's get in this top four. So, Michigan, Ohio State, obviously, had a slugfest first half. Michigan came out in the second half, just rolled through Ohio State and pounded on them with the run game. Donovan Edwards was 1-2-3 back. Then he gets two big touchdowns. Cornelius Johnson, 2 deep passes for a touchdown. McCarthy's opened up. He's really shown his full potential. Michigan's taking new strides. Number 2 team, Ohio State's number 4. So let's break down the matchups. 4 o'clock, first game of the college football playoffs, Michigan, TCU in Arizona. Ooh, man, this one I'm excited for. So Michigan and TCU are both shown to be second-half teams the whole season, given what TCU's been trailing in the second half and still getting back and won. Michigan, they're trailing Rutgers, but hey, as for Michigan and TCU this season, all I can say is this. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. TCU, tough loss to Kansas State in the conference championship in overtime. Been some debate on whether or not they should be 3 or 4, but I agree with the ranking. They made the conference championship. Ohio State didn't. Ohio State got buried by Michigan. TCU had a close game against Kansas State. So I agree with that ranking. I believe that the rankings are good this season. I agree with them all the way. Sure, Michigan can make an argument that they should be number 1, but Georgia won it all last year, undefeated. Still seems like the most dominant team in the NCAA. So let's look at Michigan TCU. We'll talk about Georgia and Ohio State in a second. First, let's start with Michigan TCU. Michigan, number 2. TCU, number 3. Let's look at some key matchups. Cornelius Johnson could be a big factor for Michigan. The senior wide receiver has a big frame. McCarthy throws 50-50 balls. Cornelius Johnson's the guy to go to. He's the guy who has the 6'3 frame, big enough to go up and get those balls. Now you want to look at another good wide receiver, Ronnie Bell. Not big, but he's small enough that he can create space, get open, and give McCarthy room to throw a deep ball to him. Now, obviously, the one we all have our eye on, J.J. McCarthy, the young buck. Some people have called him the young Jedi. I heard that before. In the backfield, Harbaugh's banked on a lot this season. He voluntarily started a new quarterback. 8 new defensive starters. Completely new offensive and defensive coordinator. He banked on it, and so far it is working out, going his way. So Michigan overall is a good team. Donovan Edwards. Blake Corum's out. He's had to step up, and so far he's done exactly that. Huge runs, good touchdowns, and he's been able to go. So, and then of course, J.J. McCarthy, as I already said, showing that he can do everything, open it up, really showing his full talent. He's a 5-star recruit, and he's showing why right now. So, I think Michigan possibly playing their greatest football right now. TCU, maybe limping a little bit after that loss. Maybe start trending downwards now. Because you look at TCU, they barely beat a lot of teams that I think Michigan, Georgia, even Ohio State possibly could have beat. So TCU is not looking like they're playing their best football right now. But Max Dunigan, Heisman standout at quarterback. Playing quarterback for TCU. Michigan's key to their defense, put a spy on the quarterback. Because if you shut down his pass lanes, he will kill you with his legs. He's not a great thrower, but he can throw the ball. But the run game is the biggest part of him that has made him a Heisman standout, because he can pick up yards just like J.J. McCarthy can. Both those two quarterbacks. I will say J.J. McCarthy can probably throw better than Max Dunigan, but they can both run like crazy. I think we can expect to see a lot of run-pass options out of the quarterbacks in this upcoming top 4 matchup on the 31st. But that's besides the point. The point is, Max Dunigan, Heisman standout. TCU's got a good core there with him at the helm offensively. But he's limping a little bit. And I don't think he's at 100% after that game against Kansas State either. He took a lot of shots in that game, got pretty beat up. So, we'll see what happens. But if I had to make a bet, here's what my bet would be. I think overall, Michigan puts a spy on the quarterback, closes down Max Dunigan's run lanes, closes down most TCU's run game. I think Michigan has an edge offensively as well. My prediction for this game is that Michigan is going to win 28-24. There it is, right there. Thursday. I think it's going to be close. I think Michigan gets a win because they seem better than TCU this whole season. I think that if it comes down to a second half game, Michigan's going to have the edge. They've been a good second half team all season. I think that they're going to win this game. Now, next matchup, Georgia-Ohio State. Ooh, man, is this one to watch or what? Ohio State got buried by Michigan. They thought their season was over. They're like, oh man, CJ Stroud's like, I'm going to be labeled as the quarterback who never beat Michigan. Now, you're in top 4, you're number 4. You got a chance to right all the wrongs and try and turn yourself into a team that can beat Michigan still. You got a chance, but you got to beat Georgia first. Georgia's been the most dominant team. Top dog, no pun intended. They're looking great. You got Stenson Bennett. Phenomenal quarterback. Great wide receiving core. Great running core. A defense that bottles up the run game. And if we're being honest, that's something Ohio State's like to do all season, is run the ball. Georgia's defense is good at bottling that up. And they're good at covering the pass game too as well. So, look at Ohio State. Good running backs. Marvin Harrison Jr. going to be a wide receiver to watch. But overall, ultimately, I think they lack the defense to stop Georgia's good offense, and I think they lack the offense to be able to stand up to Georgia's defense. Overall, I think Georgia has an overall edge in that game. I think Georgia's going to beat Ohio State, and pretty good at that. I got Georgia winning 35-7. Go ahead, throw hate down in the comments. Used to it, doesn't bother me. If you haven't seen my poll yet on who you think is the best team in college football, is going to win the college football playoffs, I got top 4 teams in there. Make sure you go check out that poll and vote. Go to the community tab of my channel to do that. Make sure you get subscribed because I post epic content weekly. So make sure you get subscribed. Drop a like. Go to my channels tab and check out my other channels, my exotic animals channel, because I got merch dropping on that soon. You're going to want to subscribe. You're going to want to try and cop that merch. Drop a like if you did. Subscribe if you haven't already. Till next time, rock on.